Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Caregivers Collective, the space where we gather strength and share stories. We walk this caregiving journey together. I'm Tangela, and I'm your host. And today, we're getting ready to smile. Yes, right, we're diving into something that we often forget when life gets heavy. We forget about humor. We're talking about the role of humor in caregiving. Let's talk about why humor matters. Caregiving is sacred work. But let's be honest, it can also be incredibly stressful, exhausting, and emotionally draining. And that's why humor isn't just nice to have, it's a survival skill. Laughter is medicine, y'all. And I'm not just saying that. Science backs it up. Studies show that laughter reduces stress hormones, boosts your immune system, and helps you to connect with others more deeply. When we're knee-deep in medications, appointments, and family dynamics, laughter gives us the permission to exhale. It reminds us that you're still human. You still deserve joy. I remember this time when I walked in, and it actually happens a lot, and I looked down at my mom's feet, and her shoes were on the wrong foot. And I was like, girl, what's going on with those shoes? And she was like, what? I said, they're on the wrong foot. And she started laughing. and I started, she was like, and I was just going to change them. And I looked at her and was like, really? And we both just cracked up. Those 30 seconds of shared laughter just lifted the heaviness off the whole evening. Humor doesn't erase the pain, but it pauses it just long enough for us to breathe. So let's talk about how to keep humor alive in the midst of caregiving. First of all, find the funny in every day. If your loved one has a good sense of humor, encourage it. Joke about the absurdity of a 12-page insurance form, laugh at a TV rerun you've seen 100 times. Use humor as a diffuser. As a matter of fact, my brother, he's always harassing my mom, and he does it because he knows he can get her riled up, and it just adds humor to the whole situation. And I love it because even when she can't quirk back at him and she can't think of things that's going on in a regular conversation, when he says something silly, she automatically has a clap back for him. And that moment of humor, it changes the whole atmosphere. So when tension builds, a well-timed joke can diffuse conflict. Just make sure it's kind and not at anybody else's expense. Create a ritual of laughter. Watch a comedy before bed, share a funny meme with your support group. Text your siblings a caregiver blooper of the week. I text pictures of what's going on with me and my mom to my brothers and sisters all the time. And I often get a funny response. And so it's a great thing to do, adding humor. Now, we know it's important to know your audience. Humor is personal. What's funny to you may not be funny to someone else, especially if they're dealing with pain or frustrations. So keep it light, respectful, and full of love. Let's talk about humor with a spiritual lens. Even in the Bible, we see moments of humor. God has a sense of humor too. Laughter is a reminder of hope. It's a sacred release. As Proverbs 17:22 says, a cheerful heart is good medicine. And that applies to caregivers just as much as those we care for. So let laughter be your companion in the midnight hours. Let joy remind you of your own humanity. And finally, laugh, smile, giggle, even when it doesn't feel like the right time. Humor is a holy tool that lifts the burden just enough to keep you going. So you're not alone, and you don't have to carry this journey without joy. If you got a funny caregiving moment, send it to us or tag us on social. Let's share those moments with the community. And remember, laughter doesn't mean you're not taking things seriously. It only means that you're strong enough to choose joy in spite of it all. Thanks for listening to the Caregivers Collective. I'm Tangela, and I'll see you next time. And until then, keep showing up loving big, and don't forget to laugh a little because you deserve it. Also, don't forget that you can follow us on the various platforms on YouTube at the Caregivers Collective, on Instagram, and on TikTok. I'll see you out there in the space.